So imagine this. You got a massive cargo plane, right? And it's touching down on a tarmac in Dubai. The cargo hold is just packed with $50 million worth of a highly sensitive, temperature-controlled oncology biologic.
Wow. And it's probably, what, 110 degrees outside?
Exactly, 110 degrees ambient temperature. But the local delivery trucks have been delayed by, like, a localized later strike. And to make matters worse, the regulatory documentation you need to clear customs is just stalled in some server in Geneva.
Because of a minor formatting discrepancy, no doubt.
You guessed it. Just a typo or something. But in the traditional pharmaceutical supply chain, you're literally minutes away from a catastrophic loss. Millions of doses of life-saving medicine ruined simply because the right data didn't reach the right people at the right time.
Yeah, it's a terrifying scenario. And frankly, it is one that supply chain managers lose sleep over every single night.
I can't even imagine the stress.
It's immense. Because when you are dealing with global pharma logistics, the margins for error are, well, they're effectively zero. We are talking about moving highly volatile chemical compounds across international borders.
Right.
You're maintaining exact thermal profiles and, navigating an absolute labyrinth of international compliance law. So efficiency here, it isn't just about preserving corporate profit margins. Efficiency is directly correlated to resilience and, much more importantly, patient survival.
Which brings us perfectly to the focus of today's deep dive. We are digging into this really fascinating operational framework developed by the Center of Excellence Pharma 4.0.
It's an incredible piece of work, yeah.
It really is. And for anyone tracking the evolution of the industry, we've moved from basic mechanization through mass production into the era of basic computerization. And that was Pharma 3.0.
Right, the early digital days.
Yeah. But today, we are exploring the leap to 4.0. The whole mission of this framework is to tear down the massive, rigid internal walls that have historically just crippled pharmaceutical manufacturing and replace them with a connected, intelligent ecosystem.
And the engine driving this entire transformation, advanced artificial intelligence.
Exactly, which is a huge deal.
It is a profound structural shift. I mean, for decades, the industry has operated on what is essentially a highly fragmented architecture. To truly appreciate why AI is being positioned as a fundamental necessity here rather than just, an operational luxury, we have to look closely at the legacy systems.
The ones that are currently failing under the weight of modern global demand.
Precisely. We have to examine the friction points.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the baseline architecture outlined in this framework reveals a deeply problematic before picture.
Oh, definitely.
The pharmaceutical life cycle is currently trapped within these four massive, heavily fortified silos. So first, you have manufacturing.
Right.
And this department is entirely consumed by the physical reality of the product. Plant production, managing really complex batch records, and baseline quality control right there on the floor.
Just entirely focused on the physical making of the drug.
Right. But sitting right next door, yet completely walled off digitally and culturally, is the supply chain silo. They're managing procurement of raw materials, global logistics, warehousing, inventory levels, all of that.
And the segregation, it only gets worse as you move downstream because the third silo is quality.
Right, the quality silo.
Yeah, and they exist in an isolated bubble of post-production testing, compliance verification, and managing KPI.
And for anyone who might not deal with quality management daily, KPI stands for corrective and preventive action, right?
Exactly. It is the formal process of investigating what went wrong when a deviation occurs. It's very manual. And then finally, you have the regulatory silo.
Stuck in their own world.
Completely bogged down. They're generating submissions for global health authorities, managing facility audits, and handling the complex life cycle management of approved drugs.
So looking at this structure, anyone would logically assume these four pillars are in constant, seamless communication.
You would hope so.
Right, but the reality is they operate with entirely different software languages, different databases, and, entirely different incentive structures.
The data is completely trapped. You have zero end-to-end visibility.
Yeah, and when decision-making relies on, emailing PDFs between departments, the process becomes just agonizingly slow. I like to imagine it as a high-stakes relay race. But instead of running on a clear track with a clear line of sight, the runners, representing these four isolated departments, they are completely blindfolded.
That's a great analogy.
Right. The runner holding the baton has absolutely no idea where the previous runner is or how fast they are moving, and they have no idea exactly where the next runner is stationed. They're just sprinting blindly toward a general zone, hoping someone is there to grab the handoff.
And inevitably, batons get dropped.
They get dropped all the time.
And what's fascinating here is how catastrophic those dropped batons are when you look at the underlying mechanics of a drug rollout. I mean, this isn't a tech company where a siloed database just means marketing and sales missed a quarterly target.
Right, the stakes are so much higher.
In pharma, a drop baton looks like this. Say the manufacturing silo initiates a minor, completely authorized process tweak to improve the yield of an active pharmaceutical ingredient, an API.
Okay, sounds good so far.
Right. But because their manufacturing execution system doesn't dynamically talk to the regulatory database, the regulatory team isn't flagged to update the global submissions in real time.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. Months later, during a routine audit, an inspector notices the manufacturing process on the floor doesn't perfectly match the filed documentation.
Wow.
Suddenly, you have a massive multi-million-dollar compliance crisis. Production is completely halted and the supply chain is starved of product.
All because a single piece of data didn't cross a digital hallway.
Precisely. The KPA process kicks in, but KPA is inherently retroactive. A team of humans has to launch an investigation, trace back through thousands of pages of batch records, find the root cause, and formulate a preventive plan.
And while they're doing all that paperwork, the real-world logistics are falling apart.
Exactly. By the time that is resolved, your supply chain logistics are in chaos and trucks are sitting empty. The lack of integrated visibility breeds this intensely reactive posture. You are always putting out fires instead of preventing them, which is incredibly dangerous in a high-velocity, globally distributed network.
So the fundamental problem is an architecture of blindfolded silos dropping batons, causing massive friction and compliance liabilities.
That sums it up perfectly.
Which brings us to the proposed solution in the framework. AI is introduced as the connected layer, sitting right in the center of these operations. The framework maps out 5 specific capabilities this AI layer brings. Let's see, data integration, predictive analytics, real-time visibility, intelligent automation, and risk-based decision-making.
It's a comprehensive toolkit.
Hold on, though. I have to play skeptic for a second. Intelligent automation and data integration sound fantastic on a strategy slide. But isn't this just a massive, glorified software update? I mean, companies upgrade their enterprise resource planning tools all the time to force departments to use the same cloud server. What actually elevates this to a living, breathing ecosystem?
That is a very fair question. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, the distinction between a software upgrade and an AI-driven ecosystem comes down to the difference between data storage and data synthesis.
Synthesis, okay.
Yeah. A standard cloud integration just means the supply chain silo can open the manufacturing silo's spreadsheets. It is still passive. A human still has to read it, interpret it, and act on it.
Right, you still need a person connecting the dots.
Yes, exactly. What the Pharma 4.0 framework proposes with AI is active synthesis through predictive analytics and risk-based decision-making. The AI layer isn't just a filing cabinet. It is constantly ingesting structured data from databases and unstructured data from IoT sensors, external weather models, geopolitical risk feeds, and it is actively calculating probabilities.
Okay, walk me through exactly how that synthesis works in practice. How does it calculate that probability in the real world?
Let's take a complex multivariable disruption. Say a major typhoon is forming in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
A traditional reactive software system will eventually flash a red light when your cargo ship actually fails to arrive at the port.
Right, at which point it's too late.
Exactly. At that point, you are already in a crisis. The AI-enabled connected layer operates completely differently. Days before the storm hits, the predictive analytics engine ingests the meteorological data, cross-references it with the live GPS telemetry of your ocean freight, and calculates a 94% probability of a 5-day delay for a critical chemical precursor.
So it sees the bottleneck forming miles down the track.
Exactly. And then the intelligent automation kicks in. It doesn't just alert a human to go fix it.
Wait, really? It acts on its own?
Yes. The AI automatically pings the manufacturing silo's scheduling system and says, we will experience an API shortage by next Thursday. Dynamically throttle down production line 3 to conserve existing materials.
Wow.
Simultaneously, it executes a risk-based decision to ping the supply chain systems. It automatically routes a purchase order to a pre-approved secondary supplier in Europe to air freight the missing materials.
That is incredible.
And it doesn't stop there. Finally, it interfaces with the regulatory silo, verifying that this specific European supplier is already cleared in the active regulatory dossiers, ensuring absolute compliance.
So it's orchestrating this entire cross-departmental pivot.
In milliseconds, before a human supply chain manager has even poured their morning coffee.
That is an entirely different paradigm. It is taking the blindfolds off the relay runners, but it's also acting as this like omniscient coach hovering over the track, dynamically repositioning the runners based on obstacles forming miles ahead.
That's a great way to look at it.
Which brings us to the after picture in the Pharma 4.0 framework.
For sure.
Once this AI-connected layer breaks down the walls, the architecture morphs into this interconnected sphere. The departments get a massive technological upgrade, right?
They do, yeah.
Manufacturing evolves into smart production and quality. Supply chain becomes connected logistics and next-gen tracking. Quality is upgraded to a digital QMS and real-time monitoring. And regulatory achieves what they're calling compliance by design.
And compliance by design is arguably the most radical departure from traditional pharmaceutical operations here.
How so?
Well, for a century, compliance has been an end-of-the-line inspection. You run the biological processes, you manufacture the drug, you manually compile the batch records, and then a quality control team tests the final output against regulatory standards. If a parameter drifted out of spec during, say, day 3 of a 14-day bioreactor run, you often don't find out until day 15. You fail the inspection, throw out the entire multi-million-dollar batch, and initiate a massive retroactive investigation.
Here's where it gets really interesting. When you look at the mechanics of compliance by design, I picture the evolution of automotive engineering.
Okay, I like where this is going.
In the old days of car manufacturing, a quality assurance inspector with a clipboard would physically test the brakes at the very end of the assembly line. If the brakes failed, the car was already fully built. The labor, the parts, the time, it was all completely wasted.
Just a total loss of resources.
Exactly. But compliance by design is like engineering a modern smart car, where the blueprints physically integrate the safety protocols into the operational mechanics. The car's internal computer system continually monitors the hydraulic pressure of the brake lines during assembly.
Right, it's constantly checking itself.
And the engine software, physically, will not allow the ignition to spark if it detects a critical failure. You aren't checking for safety at the end of the process. The safety parameters are baked directly into the DNA of the machine.
And taking that blueprint concept directly into the pharmaceutical manufacturing floor, that is exactly how a digital QMS, a quality management system, interacts with smart production.
Because it's monitoring the actual manufacturing process in real time.
Precisely. By integrating IoT sensors directly into the mixing vats, the AI-connected layer is constantly running diagnostics on the process itself. If the pH level or the temperature of a biologic mixture deviates by 1/100 of a degree, the digital QMS doesn't just log the error for a human to find next week.
It catches it right then and there.
It recognizes the anomaly instantly, cross-references it against the regulatory parameters, and instantly auto-tunes the heating jackets on the bioreactor to correct the drift in real time.
It effectively polices its own biology.
Exactly. It eliminates the highly inefficient steps of the siloed era because the data is transparent, actionable, and self-correcting. The compliance isn't a retroactive hurdle. It is a continuous, embedded state of being.
That's wild.
Regulators eventually won't need to request historical static PDFs to audit a facility. They could theoretically plug into a secure, read-only dashboard that proves continuous, real-time adherence to safety protocols.
The amount of human capital and physical resources saved by eliminating that lag time is just staggering. But fundamentally, overhauling an entire global infrastructure to achieve Pharma 4.0 requires massive capital investment.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge upfront cost.
The C-suite needs to see a concrete, multidimensional return on that investment. The framework maps out 7 core benefits of this transition. But instead of just listing them off, we need to look at the causality between them. How does breaking down a data silo actually manifest in the physical world?
The causality is the most important part of this entire analysis, really. You cannot achieve lower operational costs without smarter decision-making. And you cannot make smarter decisions without end-to-end visibility. They are inextricably linked.
So what does this all mean for the physical operations? The benefit that genuinely surprised me the most in this framework was better sustainability.
Really? The sustainability angle.
Yeah, it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking about data integration, machine learning models, and cloud architecture as these invisible, ethereal things floating in a server farm. But destroying data silos translates into a tangibly greener planet.
It's true. The physical footprint of inefficiency is huge.
When you think about the carbon footprint of pharmaceutical logistics, the massive energy required for cold chain liquid nitrogen trucks, the incredible waste of destroying expired chemical compounds, it is massive.
Yeah, the waste alone is a major issue in the industry.
Right. So when the AI has end-to-end visibility, it knows the exact viscosity parameters and yield rates of the manufacturing floor, and it matches it perfectly with the real-time consumption rates at the pharmacy level.
You stop over-ordering raw materials entirely.
Exactly. You eliminate the safety stock bloat. You stop running half-empty diesel-guzzling refrigerated trucks across the continent because the logistics silo panicked about a potential shortage. The digital efficiency of the AI layer directly, physically dictates environmental sustainability.
That physical translation of digital efficiency is vital to understand, and this raises an important question when we look at the other major benefits outlined, namely higher compliance and stronger resilience.
Which usually don't go hand in hand with efficiency.
Right. How often in any heavily scrutinized, heavily regulated global industry do you hear the promise of achieving higher compliance with less human effort?
It is almost an oxymoron. Usually, heightened compliance means hiring 20 more auditors and creating 10 new forms that have to be signed in triplicate. It usually grinds efficiency to an absolute halt.
In a legacy system, absolutely. But in the Pharma 4.0 model, because you have established compliance by design, and because the AI is constantly running predictive analytics to head off disruptions, high compliance and deep resilience actually become natural byproducts of well-oiled, interconnected machine.
They just happen automatically.
Right. They are no longer agonizing, manual chores piled onto the desks of isolated teams, because the AI ecosystem is constantly policing the mundane variables, verifying the continuous temperature logs, cross-referencing the supplier certifications, auto-correcting the bioreactors. The human experts are completely liberated.
That is a game changer for the workforce.
It is. You don't need a team of brilliant biochemists spending 40% of their week double-checking PDF batch records. You free them up to focus on high-level strategy, complex problem-solving, and actual medical innovation.
It is a total operational reimagining of how a life-saving molecule makes its way from a theoretical concept in a lab to the medicine cabinet in your home. Looking at the core mandate embedded in this framework, it is distilled into 3 directives: connect, predict, transform.
Very succinct.
Building a smarter, compliant, and resilient pharma supply chain with AI is not just about chasing the latest technology trend. It is a fundamental requirement for tearing down the blindfolds that have held the industry back.
Exactly.
By replacing those fractured, isolated silos of manufacturing, supply chain quality, and regulatory with a single AI-enabled nervous system, the industry is building a future where the medicine you depend on is always there, flawlessly manufactured and inherently safe. Thank you so much for joining us as we unpack this incredible evolution in healthcare logistics. We will catch you next time.
It is a profound shift toward an era of anticipation rather than reaction. But it does leave us with a deeply complex reality to navigate as these systems come online.
Oh, for sure.
We are talking about utilizing predictive algorithms to handle risk-based decision-making and compliance by design. We are effectively handing the operational keys of a highly regulated life-and-death global supply chain over to an interconnected AI ecosystem.
Which is a little scary when you really think about it.
It is. Because artificial intelligence relies on historical data and recognizable patterns to make those calculations. So what happens when that intelligent ecosystem encounters a true black swan event?
Something it's never seen before.
Right. A global crisis, a novel chemical shortage, or a geopolitical collapse that it was never trained on. If an algorithm automatically reroutes a supply chain or alters a manufacturing parameter based on a probabilistic assessment that ultimately proves flawed, who is legally and morally accountable?
That's a heavy question.
It is. In the Pharma 4.0 era, as we enthusiastically embrace the speed and efficiency of the machine, how do we ensure the ultimate accountability remains profoundly human? Something to think about.